so many things that we might see every single day, even here in Kansas City and the surrounding area. We see stuff that comes from the rainforest all the time. We see a lot of wood that gets harvested from the rainforest. Maybe you might go to the grocery store and get honey or candy bars or gum, all this stuff, rubber, all the furniture that's around us, the different wood that's around us, paper is huge from the rainforest. All of this stuff is just a huge, giant reason why the rainforest is so important. And then one big other reason why the rainforest is really, really important, and this is on a global scale, not just the rainforest itself, is that rainforest, which kind of cover the middle of the earth a little bit. It's like a band where the tropics are. That's where you find most of the hot tropical rainforests on the planet. They're huge forests, and that means that forests, as big trees, as all plants do, they need to breathe in carbon dioxide. And that's huge when it comes to climate change, right? So all of our industries, all of the stuff throughout the planet, the fossil fuels that we burn, puts carbon dioxide up into the atmosphere and it gets trapped there. And so that's our problem with climate change right now, is the Earth is getting warmer and warmer and warmer. And that can even cause a problem for animals who maybe have never even heard of the rainforest or seen a rainforest in their entire lives. Great case in point is the polar bear, right? Polar bears are one of the big sufferers of global warming because as the Earth warms and warms, there's less and less ice for them to go out on. And many polar bears are suffering because they don't have any home left. Their ice is just completely gone. They can't catch the seals that they need to eat. They don't have a place to build their homes and their dens when they need to have babies. And so they're just running out of homes very, very, very rapidly. And they have no idea about the rainforest. But the rainforest actually help polar bears out because they're able to pull down a lot of that extra carbon dioxide. So the more rainforest, the more forest we have on this planet, the more carbon dioxide can get pulled down. So rainforests are a huge contributor to helping stop global warming and climate change. And of course, as we know, there's a lot of issues that the rainforests face, right? The rainforests have a lot of people who live in those environments, a lot of natives who live throughout the rainforest and tribes throughout all the rainforests in the world. And there's a lot of issues with those rainforests getting cut down, with a lot of the products and materials in the rainforest getting taken without any kind of control, so they just come in and wipe everything out. Or companies that might come in and want to turn these rainforests into farms instead, and they've got to cut down and get rid of all the trees and grow farms that are there. And of course, there's ways to do it. It's kind of complex. There's ways to do it where you can do it sustainably, right? So you can only select certain areas of the rainforest so you're not destroying and wiping out the whole thing. Ways that you can do it so that you're making sure the rainforest is able to regenerate and come back after you've cut down trees or made room for farms. So there's a lot of things that people can do to kind of help sort of stop or slow down a lot of the dangers that the rainforests face all across the world. So we're really excited that you guys are studying it, and we're really excited that you guys are learning about what you can do and what's really important about the rainforest. So we're hoping that you guys will take all the stuff that you learned from the Zoomobile that came and visited you and from talking with me today and actually share it just as simply as with your own fellow students at your elementary school at Crossroads. That's huge, right? If every time we came on a Zoomobile and came to visit in the classroom, they could just tell just their classmates at their own school, we'd be able to reach double the amount of people. And then if everyone went home and told their families and their parents, pretty soon everyone would know all the issues that the habitats are facing around the world, and animals might be a lot better off. So we're hoping that you guys can do us a favor and share it with your fellow students at Crossroads by maybe making some posters that hang around your school and kind of explain why the rainforest is so important, how it's in danger, and what are some simple things that all of you guys can do to help. So being able to share that with your fellow students by maybe making some posters, hanging them up around the school, and that really showcase this amazing habitat and all the amazing animals that come from there, and what we can do to help make sure that the dangers that it faces don't go on for too much longer. That would be a huge help to us, and I'm sure the animals would really appreciate it too. Do you guys have any questions at all for me about this task?
So we have this task, we have this challenge that we've got to share with the rest of Crossroads. We've got to make these posters so that we can tell them why the rainforest is important, how it is in danger, and how we can help save the rainforest. All right? He's issuing us this challenge. So what questions do we have for him moving forward? Lauren?
Why is there global warming around the rainforest? Is this like the first time? Is this like the time where global warming is getting worse?
That's a great question. I think I heard it okay. So you're kind of asking about why is global warming continuing to get worse and worse? Is that right?
Yes.
Really loud.
Yes.
Is that correct? Yeah, okay. So global warming or climate change more realistically, right? It's just kind of, it's not always warming because in some places it actually causes blizzards and things like that. So we usually call it climate change instead. But climate change is in fact getting progressively worse and worse. And it's because we have this huge history, especially since the Industrial Revolution, which happened around the late 1800s, early 1900s, right? That's when factories started coming up. That's when cars became popular. Planes started coming around in the early 1900s. And we have all of these industries that are using and burning fossil fuels. They're burning things like coal and natural gas. Carbon dioxide is getting put out into the atmosphere because all of these processes run on fuel, run on things like gasoline and petroleum and coal. And when they combust, when they use and make those motors and engines run and turn, then when we use energy, we're actually putting a lot of that stuff into the air, these gases that then get trapped in the atmosphere. So our atmosphere is a really nice blanket that helps keeps us really, really warm, because otherwise, if we didn't have an atmosphere, the sunlight and the warmth and energy from the sun would hit the earth and just bounce right off and be able to leave and go away, and we'd be a frigid, cold planet. But instead, the atmosphere helps trap some of that energy and that warmth inside the planet, and helps keep us warm, helps allow for habitats throughout the planet, and helps let us have liquid water and all the animals that need that to survive. So it really helps our planet survive. But if we're adding a lot more carbon dioxide than is supposed to be in the atmosphere, then it causes the Earth to slowly get warmer and warmer and warmer. And that can be a really big challenge. It can cause a lot of issues with ocean currents. If ocean currents aren't moving correctly and they're getting too warm, they might start to move differently. And if ocean currents move differently, that can lead to a lot of storms and issues out in the ocean. So we get more hurricanes, we get more typhoons. It can also lead to heavier and harder wind currents on top of the land, so not just in the water, but up on top of the water as well. So wind currents start moving differently or more violently, and that's what causes a lot of our storms and heavy blizzards and tornadoes and things like that up on land instead of out in the ocean. So storms all over the world start to get more powerful. And as we're starting to learn more and more about this, we're starting to find out some of the things we can do to actually combat global warming a little bit. So things like simple things, just like turning off your lights more, turning off your car if your car is stopped for longer than 30 seconds. That's a great way to help out. Making sure you know what's in there, what you want to get out of the refrigerator before you open that, because all of that stuff is using energy. We want to try and save energy wherever possible so that we're not putting as much back into the atmosphere, and we can give all of our natural sources, like forests, time to pull that carbon dioxide and those bad gases back out of the atmosphere.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for meeting with us and speaking to us. I think we are excited for this challenge, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how we're going to let the school know that we need to save the rainforest and how we can do that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm really excited that you've taken on the challenge, and we hope that soon your school will know all about it. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right. Everybody go ahead back.